Nuestro vecino más cercano en el sistema solar ha sido la fascinación del ser humano por descubrir sus secretos y enigmas. Pero, ¿qué realmente esconde el planeta rojo? Muchas historias se han escuchado, pero sin duda alguna las más increíbles y fantásticas son las de Basiago y Cramer, quienes afirman haber visitado el planeta Marte y formar parte de una fuerza espacial desconocida para la humanidad. Basiago relató los viajes que realizó el planeta rojo entre 1981 y 1984, en los que asegura haber coincidido con el expresidente de los Estados Unidos, Barack Obama.
And beginning in the very beginning of the summer there of 1981, Courtney Hunt was asking me a question I really didn't want to be asked, and that question was, so tell me, do you want to go to Mars? And then in the late June of 1981, I said, why should I go? Why are you asking me to go to Mars? And he said, because the survival of human life depends on it. I'm speaking out now for two reasons. One is we're going to be needing this technology to save our civilization. So I think that's important a reason enough. People, I think, also have a human right, a birthright to a true telling of the natural history of the solar system that we inhabit. I know that because I participated in later activities in which that is what we were doing. When I was trained on Project Pegasus, that they were utilizing 140 American school children. So they were actually training us to contingency plan for the possibility that we might be lost in time, which was a very fearsome thing to contemplate for those of us in the program. We were concerned about literally leaving this time and being stuck in another one. My father and I first jumped through a Tesla teleporter in Building 68 at the old Curtiss Wright Aeronautical Company facility in Woodridge, New Jersey, sometime between September of 1967 and September of 1968. We know that because we arrived in the state capitol complex in Santa Fe. The teleport would open up a tunnel in the time-space continuum. You would find yourself moving through it, and when the tunnel closed, you would find yourself elsewhere on the surface of the planet. I couldn't tell that much was happening. All that was happening was that panels of light on the top and bottom of the elevator started blinking. And then about 10 minutes into the 20-minute journey to Mars, the entire form of this box-like elevator began to morph and crumple and reposition itself into a cylinder. And when that happened, I had to steady myself in the elevator, such as you would if you were walking through a water main. You know, you're walking in a cylindrical object, so you have to kind of steady yourself. And I saw that the ceiling had become the surface I was looking at, and I could see this sort of swirling pattern. They had opened up a vortal tunnel in the fabric of time-space, just as the teleporter did back when I was a child on Project Pegasus. And that lasted for maybe 2 to 4 minutes or so, and then it began, the cylinder, and then it began correcting itself, and then it just completely rectified its original shape. And then about 10 minutes later, as Courtney had described, the door opened, and I walked out into what looked like, if you can imagine sort of the basement of a modern sports arena, the infrastructure of that built into an existing underground cavern of an ancient civilization. There was sort of a big cave in which I could see these modern tension struts, a sort of infrastructure that had been placed inside, and the jump room itself had been placed inside this ancient cavern. I walked through what was clearly the irregular eye sockets of some kind of skull on the surface. I turned around, I could see it was a skull. I could see the rust-red terrain of Mars. I could see that Mars has a pale blue sky. I could see that, or sense rather, that Mars smelt of gunpowder, which must have been some sulfur content at least.
Cramer manifestó haber ingresado en el año de 1987 a la edad de 17 años en contra de su voluntad, siendo reclutado por la NASA para formarse como un supersoldado espacial. Trabajó durante 17 años como oficial designado a la sección espacial marina estadounidense, como parte de lo que es la Fuerza de Defensa de Marte en las regiones polares de ese planeta. Allí, estuvo en operaciones de combate y mantenimiento de la paz con civilizaciones reptiloides e insectoides, lo que él denomina como civilizaciones mántidas. Con su testimonio durante los 17 años de servicio, la Fuerza de Defensa de Estados Unidos en Marte logró aliarse con las civilizaciones reptiloides y mantis para luchar, obteniendo éxito en un intento de invasión de la región polar por parte de la civilización de reptiloides Draco. Cramer asegura que desde hace muchos años existen 5 colonias terrestres en Marte, siendo la principal Aries Cramer, ubicada en un lugar estratégico del enorme cráter. En ella los estadounidenses han logrado crear una atmósfera densa y fría, y a la que se debe ingresar con traje espacial.